Hello. What's up, YouTube? Yasmin86. Yeah. Um, had a what was I? I hate that. But yeah, last night, Monday night, is usually when a lot of my favorite shows come on. I actually like a new show called Carrie Diaries, which if you guys don't know, you're a big fan of Sex and the City with Sarah Jessica Parker and everybody like that. It's basically, I guess, it's supposed to be like the beginning of Carrie Bradshaw and how she basically went from being from Connecticut and now she's started working in Manhattan and the whole fashion thing. Just basically how she grew up. So Carrie Diaries, yeah, that comes on the CW. I watched that. It's really, really good. Yeah, so check it out on Mondays. It's kind of, you know, conflicts with Switch Their Birth actually that comes on at 8 o'clock as well on ABC Family. There's a lot of stuff coming on Love and Hip Hop New York, and I know I said that I was going to start reviewing Love and Hip Hop New York on VH1, but to be honest, like I watch it, but I don't feel like it's like good enough for me to actually make a video discussing it. Like to be honest, like the first Love and Hip Hop New York was really really good, with Chrissy, and it was just way better. Like this in Love in New York is drama, but it's just so unnecessary drama. And the people on it actually I really don't care about too much. I like Tahiri. Who else do I like? Erica. Erica, she be doing the most. She just goes off and kind of does her own thing. She has a lot of mouth, so whatever. So like I said, I wanted to review it, but it's not interesting enough for me to review. But yes, I do watch it. I actually was really tired last night, so I was like, well, I'm gonna lay down and I'm going to just chill out. And then I was waiting for Oprah on network. She was doing an interview with, supposed to be doing an interview with Cissy Houston, who you guys of course know is Whitney Houston's mother, and it's coming up on the anniversary of Whitney Houston's death. So Cissy Houston was on there and she wrote a book, and she was on Oprah next chapter to promote it basically. And like I said, I fell asleep, and I actually thought I recorded it on my DVR, but it turns out I didn't. So what I did was a little earlier, I went on YouTube and kind of just looked at a couple of clips, and I just want to give you guys, my whole take on it, and I'm sure some of you saw, seen it, if not. But yeah, some of the like key points and things that were kind of interesting was Whitney Houston, of course, has two brothers, Gary and Michael, and basically how Michael, her older brother, made it to introducing Whitney Houston to drugs and how he was doing drugs with her. And I just felt like kind of bad because he was just saying like he felt like he was the person that kind of got her into the drugs and kind of started her on that path of drug use. And so yeah, so that was really really interesting because I never knew that. Oprah had asked Miss Cissy Houston about Robin. Robin, you guys, is if you guys don't know, Whitney Houston's history was an assistant of Whitney Houston's for a very long time, and they were been best friends, and it was even rumored that they were in a relationship and that Whitney was gay and everything like that. So Oprah asked her how did she feel about Robin, and Cissy basically, I loved her honesty. She was like, I didn't really care for her. She had like too much mouth, but I guess she's okay. I know her and Whitney were really best friends. And Oprah asked her, well, it was rumors that her and Robin, that it was rumors that Whitney and Robin had a relationship. And would you have minded if Whitney was gay? And Cece said, yes, I would have. And Oprah was like, you would have? She was like, yes, I would have minded if my daughter had, was gay. She would have had some issue with it. So I really thought, she was being very honest about it. I couldn't hate her and say, oh, how dare she? It was just like, okay, she's giving her opinion. That's her take on that whole thing. She also asked Cissy how did she find out, I guess, about Whitney, how her drug use started, and she basically said that Robin had went to Whitney in like the late 80s or whatnot, and kind of was, I guess, telling on Whitney and telling the mom, Cissy, that she saw her doing drugs, and everyone was like, what kind of drugs? She said, I think cocaine. And so she went to Whitney Houston like, baby, you don't need to be doing that, don't do that. And Whitney was like, of course, oh, my mama, stop. And of course, when you grown, you kind of do your own thing. And so that, and then she kind of just asked her about how did she feel about Bobby. Bobby, she was like, did you like Bobby Brown? She was like, no. She was like, she said she didn't particularly care for Bobby Brown. And, of course, Whitney was of age. She couldn't tell her or forbid her not to see Bobby Brown, but she didn't really care for Bobby Brown too much. Asked about Bobby Christina, and I guess, like, how did she feel about the whole Houston's TV show that they had. And she was like, she felt that the TV show was a little too soon after Whitney's death, which if you've seen my previous video and I was kind of, giving my review on the show, I said the same thing. Like, I think it was like maybe 2 months after Whitney had passed away that they were doing the show, and I just felt like that was like, why would you be doing a show with Bobby Christina, and she's kind of trying to mourn the death of her mother, and you're going to put her on TV when she's going through such a dramatic time? And Cissy was like, she just felt like, the show was too soon. She asked about her relationship with Bobby Christina. Did she feel like her granddaughter was on the same path as her mother? She said, well, I believe she will be going on the same path if she continues. And Oprah asked, did she talk to Bobby Christina? She said, yeah, she talks to her, but most of the time she can't get in contact with her, but they do talk occasionally. And she feels like, Bobby Christina is 19 years old, and like any teenager, she feel like she knows any and everything, but she's hard-headed, just like her mother was. So yes. And also, they kind of talked about the beginning of Cissy Houston's career, and how she was a singer and musician and performed all these great people. So, and she's basically was saying how that wasn't a career path that she really wanted to take. She was basically singing backup and singing for other people just to make a living. How Whitney Houston's father would stay home with the 3 kids, and how she would take Whitney on the road with her sometimes. And she said basically she just did earn ends meet. She didn't really want to become a singer. She wanted to be there for her family and be a mother. And yeah, so that was kind of interesting. I didn't know that. They also talked about Whitney, and I guess how she found out about Whitney's death. She said that basically her son had called her, and he was hysterical and said, Nippy, Nippy. And she's like, what's going on? She was kind of getting irritated because he wouldn't tell her what's going on. He said, is there Nippy? Something happened to Nippy, and I can't go back there. She's like, what's going on? Is she dead? And he said, yeah. And she said she couldn't believe it, and she just was froze. Like, she said she don't know what happened after that. Like, she probably went numb. And she said, were you about? Oprah asked her what she about. So she said, yeah. So they talked about that. They also talked about the interview that Whitney had did back in 2009, which is one of my favorite Whitney Houston interviews she did with Oprah. And she said, Cissy said she didn't know a lot of things that Whitney, were saying about the whole when Bobby Brown had spit on her, which I thought that was one of the craziest moments. When she had said that, I almost cried. And she said, yeah, she didn't know anything about that because Whitney never told her that Bobby had spit on her and different things like that. I talk about when they finally went to do an intervention with Whitney, and just it was a really good interview. Hopefully they'll do a repeat and I can see it like all together. And like I said, I only did pieces of it or whatnot. But yeah, basically that was my take on it. I thought Cissy Houston was very honest about the interview, how Whitney and her drugs and her relationship with her daughter. And it was just really good from the clips that I saw. So yeah, I want to talk about that. I'm actually going to do another video about just everything that's been going on with the whole Chris Brown and Frank Ocean thing. So I'm doing a video. But until then, thank you for watching, and I hope you like this video, and leave your comments. What did you think about the chapter Oprah interview with Cissy Houston? And yeah, let me know. Peace.